You can go ahead and sit on a mat or wherever you're at. I'm just gonna chat at you for like 2-3 minutes, hopefully, and then we'll pretty much get ready to roll, okay? We're here talking about foam rolling. Who here actively foam rolls at home every single night like they're supposed to, right? Raise your hands. Awesome. Stupendous. Yeah, who would have guessed, right? Yeah, duh. Nobody, including myself. I should do better. But that to be said, foam rolling is probably the simplest and best way that all of you can increase or, I suppose, help your tissue quality. What the heck does that mean? When we're all moving around all throughout the day, your body is going to do pretty much exactly what it tells you to do, right? If I need to go reach up towards the cookie jar above the kitchen cabinets, I'm going to reach that. I'm going to get up there somehow. But if you've got muscle knots and all kind of wacky tissue stuff going on in your upper back or something like that, it might not feel good, or you might have to like reach over using your back or something like that. Your body's going to do what it wants to do, but it's going to feel worse if you've got poor tissue quality. So foam rolling is probably one of the best ways to help increase your tissue quality. The quality of your movement is pretty much the quality of your everyday. If everything hurts all the time, then yeah, your day's gonna be pretty crappy. So again, we kind of want to help decrease all that aches and pains. You all work out 2 to 3 times a week, hopefully. You're gonna come to that with a little bit of aches and pains, and honestly, you're probably gonna get more as you move along. It's just how it goes sometimes. But again, foam rolling, probably the best way you can help decrease any of those aches and pains. The benefits of foam rolling generally are increasing range of motion. Again, if I'm going to reach for that thing of cookies, my reach might be pretty crap and I can't get up there if I've got all the issues in my shoulders. Decreases muscle soreness after you finish a workout. Hopefully most of your trainers are giving you a foam roller and telling you work it out, whatever. If you did heavy lunges on that day, hopefully we're hitting the quads. If you've got low back pain, hit the glutes, that kind of stuff. All of your trainers are probably telling you these same things. And again, goes back to increasing tissue quality, specifically muscle knots. Does everyone here know what a muscle knot is, or like has the idea of the fact that if I poke here and I have a muscle knot, it hurts? Yeah. Jay, what's a muscle knot, huh? Any idea? Tell me the scientific term, right? Yeah. Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. Well, it's definitely not your muscles actually knotted up, right? That's kind of ridiculous. It's obviously not what's happening. Muscle knots are essentially your muscle spindle fibers stuck in a state of contraction. So it's just kind of angry and just hanging out in a really stressed out state. Pretty much the only way you can get rid of those are through myofascial release, which is a long term for foam rolling. It's actually also the same thing for massage therapy, or if you literally just poke yourself, that's myofascial release technically. So, where did I go? So that's what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be doing myofascial release, decreasing those muscle knots by way of pushing a foreign object up against that and then hopefully releasing those. We'll pretty much just kind of dive right in. I'll say the 3 common mistakes that we will be avoiding here today and what you're all going to avoid in the future are going too fast. We're going to go low and slow here. You're going to savor every single second of it right into your quads, right? I'm excited for you. Not targeting the actual full muscle group. We honestly don't even really deal too much in muscle groups per se, but if you've got like knee pain or something like that, you're not gonna freaking foam roll your knee. I'm gonna talk about that, of course, but that's a terrible idea. We're looking to actually target the full muscle groups, quads, everything underneath it, all that kind of stuff. I'll take you through it. And then not relaxing. That's probably the single biggest mistake, right? We get on there and like hold in our breath and clench our teeth and hope to God it's working or something like that. It definitely doesn't help. It's not gonna do you any favors. We're gonna try our best to breathe through the lovely pain we're gonna feel. And that's about it. Without that being said, we'll get ready to roll. So everybody have a foam roller, or maybe you're sharing. That hopefully works out. Cool. So we will be going through pretty much our entire body. Now, like 85% of the muscles we're gonna be hitting is your lower body. There's quite a few places that we don't really need to hit or aren't gonna benefit from getting foam rolled. But from here on out, we're gonna start at pretty much the bottom of our legs here, starting with our calves and pretty much dividing it in 2. We're gonna hit the bottom portion of the calves here, the soleus. So you're gonna get on top of it. Use one side. If you've got a long roller and all of a sudden you realized I can't do this because it's in the way, put it off to the side like this so that you can use your other leg to roll you up and down. And you're all going to do this while you breathe deeply. And super slow. And we're pretty much only going to be looking at the bottom half of the calf, so pretty much like the Achilles. That's where you're looking to hit. Now when we do any of this foam rolling, personal preference is all it's about when it comes to the amount of pressure that you're putting on it. There is no scientific literature that says more pressure equals more benefit. It's pretty much entirely up to you. If you're rolling here and you feel spots that are particularly tender, that is a muscle knot. You probably have muscle knots in your Achilles here. So if you find those muscle knots, and as we move throughout today, when you find those, you're going to pause and stick into that muscle knot for about 30 seconds or so while you try to breathe deeply. And as you do that, quite simply, it will send a neurological signal up to the brain, right back down to that muscle spindle fiber, and hopefully shut it off. And it's actually kind of magical when it happens. It's great. So that's going to be how you get rid of those muscle knots that we come across. We'll go ahead and go up to the calf proper here, the gastrocnemius. And this part, you'll notice you can kind of roll cylindrically along the sides. Maybe certain parts feel better than others. Try not to flex your foot. Try not to point your foot or anything like that. Trying to relax, right? Can roll cylindrically, can roll up and down. We'll do pretty much every spot we're doing here. We're going to do for about a minute, minute and a half. You don't have to take that long when you're at home, but this will pretty much just cover our bases. Marky Mark looks like he's enjoying it. Anyone find any muscle knots here? I know I've got like 3, so yeah. Yeah, calves definitely are going to be tight. If you work from home and you find yourself sitting, we're going to be doing a whole lot of like the posterior side of your legs. That's going to be tight. It's going to probably be tight for all of you, including myself. Even if you walk too much, it's probably going to be tight, that kind of thing. If you've had plantar fasciitis in the past, it's probably going to be tight. And then once you've had enough of that calf, we're going to keep working our way on up. You're going to go, again, kind of dividing the hamstring in half. You're going to be on that distal portion of your hamstring, just up and down, a little small bit just behind the knee, and then a little bit up towards the glutes. Relax your leg. They shouldn't be like flat out there or anything like that. Excellent. If you've got low back pain, typically a good spot to start is the hamstrings, and as we kind of inch up closer, we'll talk more about that. But yeah, if you've got chronic low back pain on one side versus the other, that's typically how it works, is it's going to be tight muscles somewhere, or a muscle knot, probably a bit of both, but a good place to start, the hamstrings. And once you're done with that portion, you can go ahead and move on up. Now we're pretty much working hamstring all the way up till pretty much reaches your butt cheek. So don't do that quite yet. We'll get there, but rolling all the way up there. And when you do this at home, you can do both. You can pretty much do everything we do as far as the lower body at the same time. Now that to be said, it's a bit of a tricep workout when you do that, and depending on what you got going on. And depending on the foam roller, it's going to put a little bit less pressure on that. And sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. You would tell me. Different spots are going to feel more sore than the others. As you'll notice, is a good point. My foam roller doesn't look like yours. It's got this kind of grid-like pattern with these little bumps on it. All that does is help provide the ability to apply more pressure on certain spots. It's actually the same principle as the reason trainers will give you the lacrosse ball to work on your upper back. It's a smaller object. It's able to get a little bit deeper in there, but it sure provides a whole lot of pressure. So that's kind of the trade-off there. Once you are done with your hamstring there, we're going to do my favorite, which is the glutes, or the hips, kind of both in between here. Now everyone's going to get this wrong. I'm looking at Jay. Come on, buddy. So if we're doing the left side, you're going to cross over your left leg and then lean to that left leg. So whichever leg you cross over, we're going to lean to that side. And I'm going to look around and see everyone doing completely different things, which is always so fun. Pam, hit over that side. So close. And then Liz, same thing, leaning this way. Yep, all good. Yep. So the reason we do that, and hopefully this helps when you do it the next time, the reason we cross this leg over top is your glute muscles are basically like a big fan shape on your backside. When we do this, it helps essentially spread those apart a bit more and helps you get a little bit deeper into that fascia in the hips. And it's probably going to feel pretty tight for a lot of people here. This specific foam rolling exercise is probably the single best thing you can be doing for low-grade back pain. If you've got that, odds are it's your glutes being tight from more than likely probably sitting for too long, that kind of thing. But pretty much 9 times out of 10, clients got low back pain. We do this for 30 seconds. It helps them tremendously. Excellent. And once you've had enough of that, we're going to go kind of back, I suppose, and do the adductor, so the inner portion of the thigh. Now, this one's a little bit different getting into it. You're going to lay it down vertically now. You're going to get on essentially your tummy here. And then you're going to make a 90-degree bend in your leg. Foam roller sits just inside the leg here. Other leg's on the ground, just hanging out, moving you side to side here. Pretty much going from all the way towards your knee, all the way towards your pelvis. It's probably going to feel pretty tight too. I know mine does. But this one's a little bit more niche. Maybe the trainers haven't showed you this one quite yet. Some people with knee pain, your knee is a lousy neighbor, unfortunately. Your knee is going to take the brunt of the pressure, the pain from both your hip joint and your ankle joint, which tend to suck for a lot of people. So when you do feel knee pain, odds are it's probably not your knee. Your knee's got a pretty simple job to do. It just moves up and down. It's flex and extension. Your ankle moves in basically 360 degrees, and your hip even more so. Yeah, oh yeah, feels pretty good, right? Come on. So when you feel knee pain, a good place to start is look above and below. That's what you're kind of looking to do, okay? All right. Once you've had enough of that, you can go ahead and sit on up. Pretty much work the entire portion of the leg here. We are going to do the upper back here, which if you haven't found muscle knots yet, you will find them here, guaranteed. You're going to get I will say before you hop on, when we foam roll, if anyone ever tells you to like foam roll your spine, don't do that. Please God, never do that. It's just not a good trade. You are likely to injure yourself, and that's not a good thing. We're looking to roll the myofascia, or the fascia, whatever you want to call it, the muscles, okay? Your spine pretty much got one muscle, and it's called the multifidus, and you don't want to roll that, okay? We're looking to roll the upper back muscles, the traps, everything above here, so do not go lower than your mid-back when you do this, okay? Other than that, you're going to give yourself a big hug. It's going to help open up all the muscles in the back, and you're going to lean to the right as well as leaning to the left. You're going to find spots that hurt, and you're going to try to sit into them and sustain that pressure when you find those muscle knots. I've got like 7 in my right side alone. And more than likely, one side's going to feel a whole lot better than the other. Excellent. Hopefully your head's relaxed a little bit. Yeah, again, just big deep breaths. You can look up, you can look down, makes no difference. We're going to spend a little bit more time on here because it's obviously got a bit more going on. And yes, Allison, I know what you're thinking. You're like, Brogan, we're talking all about these muscle knots. How the hell do we get these, huh? Where are these muscle knots coming from, huh? Couple options. It could be overuse, it could be underuse, it could be extremely poor posture when you're doing virtually anything during your job. If you work a sedentary job at the computer, like 80% of us all do, you're going to be hunched over, you're going to have poor posture. That's just how it goes. I can't really fix that for you, but I can help decrease all the issues and pain associated with that, okay? Tech neck, that's a terrible term that we've all had to force into our consciousness since we can't spend 10 minutes without our phones. All of this hunched over stuff is just pulling on everything up in the upper back. When we go to move that mouse every freaking time while we're in that terrible posture, it's just creating repetitive stress, which is probably why your right side probably feels worse than your left side if you are right-handed. But doing this repetitively, constantly, every day in fact, Jay, would help tremendously in decreasing that over the long term. It's probably going to feel worse than ever while we do this today because you probably aren't doing this every day. And that's kind of the point, right? The first time you started working out, it probably sucked. You don't do that every day. And all of a sudden you're doing something that's demanding a lot more of you. But as you went along, hopefully you get a little bit less sore. I don't know about Jay. We still kick the crap out of his triceps every time. But hopefully your body adapts and it gets easier and easier, right? All right. Last one, upper body wise, a little different. We're gonna foam roll the forearms. We're gonna do the front and the back. This one is a little harder to get to. Anyone here have golfer's elbow or tennis elbow or really any kind of elbow pain, right? Me too. So what occurs with that, this isn't like an absolute fix. You'll need other exercises for that. But if you do feel that, a great way to decrease that is hit all the fascia and the muscle of the forearm, which is gonna help release some of that tendon that keeps rubbing across your elbow. So anyway, we're gonna foam roll our elbow or our forearms. You're basically in child's pose. Try not to hurt your back when you do this. Sit your hips backwards more than anything. And then relax your hands. I'm going to say that, and then I'm going to look around, and you're all going to be flexed like this for some reason. But relax your hands, and you're just rolling up and down. If you can't get too far on one of them, consider taking one arm off and then just really working on the one side. You can turn it different ways. Again, this is the forearm. We'll also work on the forearm extensor after this. And again, big, deep, low breaths. Mark, relax your hands. Oh, yeah. Excellent. And this would be a good example. I think every gym here has one of those fancy little like clamping foam rollers. This is a foam roller. It's the exact same friggin' thing. So the entire principle is forcing a foreign object up against your flesh. So all you're doing with this, every gym's got one, I'm pretty sure. If not, we'll make sure of that. But for anyone with golfer's elbow, tennis elbow, use this pretty much every time you come in. I know I do. You're just doing exactly what we're doing. It's just a little bit more advanced, and it's a smaller piece of equipment, so it's able to provide a little bit more pressure, which is maybe the one thing that is hard on this one. It's kind of hard to get too much pressure on that. As you're talking, go ahead and flip your hands. You'll probably only be able to do one at a time. You're gonna essentially internally rotate and hit the inside of that forearm best you can. That might feel better for others and worse for some. Yep. If you're all typing at your computers all day, I can bet this will be a little bit sore. If you got your phones, honestly, more than anything, it's probably just gonna be all our phones every friggin' time. Your right side's probably gonna be worse than your left if you're right-handed. But if you're spending all day just flickering your thumb up and down, that's just increasing all that tension on your forearms, not doing you any favors. You can also do this one with a lacrosse ball, pretty much up against a wall or on the ground or whatever. You can do all these same things on that. You can even do this technically on the wall if that's a little bit more comfortable for you, but it's all the same thing. Whenever you've done maybe both sides there, you can go ahead and cut and just kind of look at me, and we're pretty much going to do everything we just did, but on the other side. Because that's another thing, if you do one side, I will say, you're probably going to have more asymmetries when it comes to the muscle knots. But if you do one side, just cursory go over the other side. Otherwise, you might cause more issues than you got rid of. So if you did your right side, we're going to do our left side now. We're doing pretty much what we did. So start on the bottom portion of the calves here. If we have enough time towards the end here, I'll show you some more niche spots to hit. Just want to make sure we all go out here looking even. Any questions as we move along? Anything? Allison, I know what you're thinking. Brogan, when should I be doing this foam rolling, huh? Before workouts, after workouts, in the morning, at night? And my simple answer, Allison, would be anytime that you have the motivation to do so, okay? More of this more frequently is better than all of this once a week. You should not be doing this whole hour-long foam rolling protocol once every week. What you would get much more out of is 2 minutes twice a day, or 5 minutes once a day, or whatever combination of that you want. But frequency over intensity is always going to help when it comes to foam rolling. Same thing for stretching. Go ahead and move on up to the calf proper here. Anyone have any specific spots that they're wondering about hitting or anything like that I can maybe IT band? You shouldn't have asked for that. Yeah. Good luck, everyone else. You're guilty by association, so we'll do that next. How fun. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, your IT band. Who here has knee pain? More like who doesn't? Am I right? Come on. Yeah. So your IT band is a big old thick strap that runs from your hip to the outside of your knee. It's never really going to hurt for you to roll your IT band to help decrease some of that knee pain. Now, it's not going to solve it. It's not going to be every person's knee pain or anything like that. But yeah, let's roll our IT band. So, all right, so this is gonna, So I'll be honest, when it comes to this one, it's a whole lot of pressure and it's gonna be a little tender area. So you will, if you do have knee pain, honestly, like 9 times out of 10, you're gonna feel a whole lot better after this. I do this one every single day, quite simply, because it helps me a lot. But yeah, if you don't do this often, it's gonna feel pretty sore. So what you're gonna do is, whichever side you're doing, that leg's gonna rest on the foam roller. We're basically hitting the lateral portion of your thigh, anywhere from your hip down towards your knee. Reminder, do not roll your knee. Do not roll your knee. Your knee is a place you probably shouldn't roll, so don't roll your knee. You're gonna make your leg relatively straight, but you're not gonna like flex it or activate it. Bring that other leg down in front of you, and then just curse my name under your breath. Oh yeah. Big deep breaths. Again, try to relax the leg you're working on. I know I've got a persistent knot on my left side. And I should probably name it or something. It just won't go away. And you don't have to spend too long on this one. Once you're done with the one side, go ahead and do the opposite side. Oh yeah. How you liking it, Mark? Come on, buddy.
Use broken as a curse word.
That's it, brother. That's it. Oh, yeah. Excellent. Other leg there, Jay. It'll be on. That's a hell of an adductor stretch there. That's funny. And as soon as you've had enough of both sides, you can go ahead and quit. That's fine.
So you said don't roll the lower back of the spine.
Yep. Yeah.
What are your recommendations for
Low back pain, sciatica. Yep. Yeah. So sciatica. That's a good jumping off point. Sciatica is a nerve, or your sciatic nerve. It's chiefly involved, right? That's in essentially your glute, which is why we foam roll our glutes so often, basically the hips. If you've got low back pain, again, I know it's tempting to be like, well, I'm just gonna roll my freaking lumbar spine. That's totally gonna help. It totally won't, so don't do that. But again, hitting the glutes and hips like so, 9 times out of 10 is gonna help with that. Now that to be said, everything is interconnected, so that's why I kind of brought up hitting the hamstrings, hitting the upper back. We are just a collection of rubber bands all over our body. If I flex my calf, then my anterior tibialis muscle towards the front of my shin needs to relax. So everything's a push and a pull, right? If I'm straightening my quad, my hamstring needs to relax. That to be said, if my hamstring's tight, my calf's going to be tight. If my calf's tight, my plantar fascia is going to be tight. It's up and down the chain, so if you feel low back pain, look below and look above whatever area of concern you have. But 9 times out of 10, it's going to be your glutes and your hips, okay? I kind of forgot actually. Do the quads. Now you can do both sides of the quads at once if you would like on this one. You're literally just going to roll up and down all the way from your hips all the way towards your knees, but obviously avoiding your knees because you're smart. Your quads are a big muscle. You can kind of do that cylindrical roll there. If you worked out today, it's probably going to be pretty sore. I know Laura's feeling it. Oh, yes.
I've got that rubber band on this side.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah, your AT band, it's best known as kind of like that big old rubber band. And you want your IT band to be relatively tight. It'd be a bigger problem if it weren't, but if it gets too tight, that's what essentially pulls your kneecap, plantar fascia, like knee tendonitis, patellar tendonitis, a lot of times it's supposed to be running in just like a train track, just in and out, but as soon as that kneecap's pulled any which way, then it's every little bit's always causing friction, and it's pulling across that tendon, which is what causes that. So sometimes, and I'm not saying it's going to fix it every time, but releasing this helps to decrease some of that torque maybe on that knee. And again, if you find muscle knots, go ahead and sit into it. Otherwise, you can go ahead and cut it there. Oh yeah. What was that, Liz?
Oh, I just had a quick question.
What do you got?
I didn't know if this was bad. But like at home, I have one of these, and I'll like sit on it this way,
Yep.
and like lean back this way.
Like as in this whole thing, like sit here and then lay back.
Stretch.
We'll do that too. Yep, no, yeah, I got you, yeah. Yeah, that's the one time where we're not like rolling the spine. I guess that's your question, right? Yeah, so we'll do that.
Totally rolling my spine.
Oh yeah, well, don't roll it, but yeah, you can lay on it, that's fine too. All right, we ended there. We're going back to the, I believe the hamstring. Did we do the hamstrings on this side? I don't think so. So, hamstrings, go ahead and do all the way from the bottom of the hamstring all the way up to the glute, essentially. You can just kind of combine those two this time. Good use of your time. And then kind of going back is always a good opportunity. Some of your gyms might have these, I don't know. I think this is Scott's personal roller. You can literally use a rolling pin. I mean, literally it's the exact same thing. This one just costs like $40, I'm sure. So for the IT band, you'll notice laying on top all of your body weight on your IT band might have been a little bit too much for some of us. That's okay. The benefit of maybe something like a stick roller, which you can purchase for, just kidding, I'm not sponsored yet, but you can roll on whatever area of your body with whatever amount of pressure you would like. If you've got a really sensitive area that's really hurting, stick rollers, excellent device for that. And they're compact, you can bring them around with you. I usually have one in my car, so good opportunity for that. Let's go ahead and hit the glutes, or the glutes and hips on that one side. So again, crossing one leg over top of the other. Whichever leg you cross over, you're leaning to that side. Jay, opposite side, brother. You're so close. Yep, excellent. Excellent. And then Terry, other side as well. Yep, so switch that side. So whichever one we cross over, we cross it over so that we can hit that glute. Yep. Good catch, Pam. Yep, perfect, Terry. Yep. And with this one, you don't have to have that leg all the way up here. If you've got knee pain or something that prohibits you from getting there, you can do it down here for all I care, just as long as it helps open it up a little bit. Yeah. Yep. Excellent. Whenever you're done with that, we're going to foam roll the upper back one last time here. Make sure to give yourself a hug to open up everything. Make sure you're getting some big, deep breaths. When you find those muscle knots, you are literally sitting into it, trying your best to press it down, and then holding there for about 30 seconds or less. Have a lovely weekend, Trent. Did you do the hips and glutes with that lacrosse ball, Harry? Yeah. That's, devilish. And whenever you find a good place to stop, you can go ahead and cut it. All right. Any questions before I kind of wrap this up? Any spots that you're looking to hit, or any questions? No such thing as a dumb question. Hip flexor kind of area towards the front there. So yeah, so you can quite simply, I'll just kind of show you a cursory. You can do it while we chat. But hip flexor, a lot of people also, if they're sedentary with their job or something like that, you'd have to think, I'm in this position all the time. This is tensed up, right? You can quite simply just roll on top of it, get on the edge. You would turn slightly the opposite direction, and then you're just kind of rolling over that tender spot. And you can kind of roll forward and backwards. But yeah, hip flexor, it's a good spot too. Or you can go a little bit, when you're doing your quads, just a little bit higher there. Similar, working the adductor, which we did on that one. Same kind of thing. All of those, it's all interconnected, but all of that's going to help. So kind of wrapping all this up. Again, Allison, every day as often as you can. 5 minutes once per day is better than 50 minutes once per week. Whenever, honestly, if you finish a workout, you should probably foam roll. Honestly, we should make it mandated that we have you do that, but we're just nice people, so we leave it up to you sometimes. Otherwise, I just force it on you, and that's okay. But honestly, you should probably foam roll every single workout. What that's going to do is it's going to decrease the soreness after the fact. Your heart has a lovely way of moving all of this fluid around your body and help decrease all that waste from all the different biological processes happening in your body. Your muscles do not have that same thing. When you work your quads, while Jay's doing 1,000,000 pounds on his barbell squat, your muscles are producing lactic acid buildup, and that is literally just built up. I mean, it literally just kind of sits there and makes you feel sore, and that's what's causing that soreness. If you literally take a foam roller and mush that stuff around and dissipate it, that is the only way you're pretty much able to decrease that soreness. Movement generally is going to help with that, but foam rolling does it even faster and even better. And if you can do it immediately after a workout, you're going to decrease that delayed onset muscle soreness that you feel the next day or the day after that tremendously so. It's kind of magical. It's the way you kind of keep moving that way. 5 minutes a day, better than 50 minutes a week. Know your problem areas beforehand. Obviously, you can't do everything we just did in 5 minutes. So prioritizing, honestly, 9 times out of 10, the hips or the shoulders are going to be a good place to kind of hit pretty much every day. If you've got tight calves, hit your calves. If you know you've got tight hamstrings, hit your hamstrings. If you had a heavy leg day, hit your quads. Just know what you're going to do going into it so you're not just flailing around hitting something for no reason. What was that? And then thinking about whenever you've got knee pain, you want to look above and below. If you've got low back pain, above and below the joint, whatever it is, that's what you're looking to do. Any last questions? Anything I can talk about or any spots I can hit for you or anything like that?
Just really important to drink a lot of water.
A lot of water, yeah. Yeah, so your muscles, when you're born, they come out as fine filet mignon, As we move along throughout your lives, they become just brittle beef jerky, and it's terrible. So, at one of the conferences I went to, they brought up the fact that muscles should be squishy. If you poke your muscle and there's a big old collagen globule, a muscle knot in there, something's wrong and you're going to perform far worse and have a far worse time doing whatever you're doing. If you like to garden and you've got muscle knots in your calves, it's going to be a worse experience for you. If I tell Mark you're doing sprints in the parking lot for your warm-up and he's got tight calves, he's cooked, okay? So that's the only thing stopping him, so go figure. But yeah, drinking water is very important. That helps decrease all the lactic acid buildup and helps produce better quality tissue as well. Anything else? Any questions?
Amazing. I didn't even know I was sore in places.
Wow, look at that, huh? Yeah.
Rolling and I'm like, what?
This is pretty dang sore, yeah. And again, today is probably the worst you'll feel doing foam rolling because you're probably not doing it every day. But if you do it over time, it gets easier and easier and it hurts far less and less and less. I do my IT band every day and maybe it's because I'm a masochist, I don't know, but it doesn't hurt as much anymore. So go figure. Let's hope so, huh? Someday. Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Just as good as the W ones?
Yeah, so literally whatever you have at home, they even have different densities. These are high density foam rollers. They're flat like so. Those individual knots are just going to be able to hit more specifically on those muscle knots as it rolls across it, but it's also got flat portions for the same purpose. So whatever kind of foam roller you have at home, it's probably doing the exact same thing. Lacrosse balls, again, they're just a smaller object, so you can get a little bit deeper in there. If you really hate yourself, but you have low back pain, doing that same glute exercise on this one, it'll fix it pretty quickly, but you pay a price. So, but it's good for you. Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure a million trainers have told you if you come in, oh, my shoulder's hurting today, they'll probably put you up against the wall and tell you to foam roll which is the same thing we did with the foam roller on the upper back, but lacrosse ball does get in between the scapula a little easier. So you can pay like $30 and go get one of their silly foam balls like these, but again, just ask one of your trainers. We'll probably just give you one for free. Stick rollers are great. You can use them a little bit more effectively on certain areas. Fun, wacky contraptions like this obviously have their place, specifically for forearms and hard to reach places. But yeah, thank you all for coming. I hope you had a lovely time. I know I did. If you have any questions that you want to ask after I finish recording, come and ask me. Otherwise, thank you so much. There is a sign-up sheet if you came in here late or something like that. Please go ahead and put your name down. It helps me do this more often. Thank you so much.